I'm Dan Boerman, a Kiwi comedian who recently moved to London to pursue stand-up comedy. And every week I'll be chatting to folks here in the Big Smoke who are getting after it themselves. This is Big Pond. It's one of the better ones. Marjolein.
Hey.
Marjolein, absolute pleasure having you here. You are stand-up comedian, storyteller from a small town of 7,000 people. The only town.
I'm not even from the town.
You're not even
I'm from the
town.
countryside.
You were just born in the town.
Yeah,
but
the
you're
hospital.
from the countryside.
Yeah.
In the hospital, right? And then they took you to the countryside. In Shetland.
Yeah.
I only knew what Shetland was from meeting you.
Oh, really?
I feel bad saying this.
Don't. It's so small.
No, I used to get it confused with, I'm so sorry, I didn't know the difference as a Kiwi between Shetland and Sheffield. Stay with me. Stay with me, because when I was barbering in New Zealand, I had a guy in my chair from Sheffield, and I was like, "Oh, Sheffield, like the ponies," and he had the same response as you. And it wasn't until I learned about you and your comedy and your storytelling, I was like, "Oh, quite different places." Yeah. So yeah, I apologise.
I don't know if I've ever properly been to Sheffield.
I don't know if I've properly seen a map before. Because
to be fair, like, why in New Zealand would you know Sheffield and Shetland? There's no need for you to know these places.
Only knew of Sheffield.
Yeah.
And I confuse it with Shetland. But you are a comedian, storyteller, born to a Dutch mother. You had a brief stint in Amsterdam yourself.
Yes.
Now London-based, and you've had many successes at the Edinburgh Fringe. Is that how you say that? I feel like there was awkward wording. What? Edinburgh Fringe has been good to you.
Yeah. Sometimes I've been crawling around the Fringe for years. When I had that first really good Fringe show that did really well, and folk were like, "Oh, you should take that in." I was like, all I can think about is what I should do next year.
Your first
There's
time
no
at the
break.
There's no break between.
There's no reflection.
No, you're just on to the next one.
Yeah.
Your first time at the Fringe, you had only just started, didn't you? You were fresh when you went to the
Fringe
first
was like my second ever gig.
Your second ever gig was the Fringe Festival.
I think so.
2019, or it was before 2019?
2016.
2016.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
About a decade ago at the Fringe Festival, your second gig, and you did the full run. You did a week.
I did a half a run, and I just did it because I liked stand-up. I initially studied improv in Amsterdam, and when I was in Amsterdam, I ended up doing a stand-up course at the end of my year there. I didn't know it was going to be the end of my year. I just didn't go back. I almost had to go to court a couple of times about that. But I just didn't go back to Amsterdam, but then I was just in Shetland, so I'd been studying improv, studying stand-up, or doing a course in it, and then went back to Shetland and just didn't do anything for like a year and a half. I call that like the year of the funk because I don't really remember it. I think I was just completely lost and aimless and didn't know what I wanted to do. And there's still really good times in that time. But I went on a course with UCB in New York, the Upright Citizens Brigade, to a week intensive of improv that anyone can do. And when I was there, I was going to improv shows at the night. And I went to a stand-up show and I put my name in the bucket and I got on stage. And I just did the stand-up show because I wanted to tell people about what David Cameron had done with the pig's head. Do you remember that?
Yes, we heard about that in New Zealand.
Right, you heard about it in New Zealand?
Yeah.
In America, they didn't know about it.
Right.
Because everyone on the course, I was like, yeah, well...
You were the whistleblower.
Yeah, I was like, oh, do you know what our Prime Minister did? And they're like, no. They had no idea it happened. So I literally just went on that stage because I wanted to tell as many people in one go to see their reactions. And then I was like, oh, I forgot I like doing stand-up.
Yeah.
And I thought, because I'm in Shetland, and when I lived in Amsterdam, I didn't have a very good year. Didn't enjoy it.
You were robbed.
Yeah, I was robbed. I didn't have a place to live in for a while. Was fired from my job, had no money.
You were fired from your job because you had a proper socialist approach of, hey, you're not paying us minimum wage and this seems kind of unfair.
Yeah.
So you kind of... Which feels reasonable to say, hey, you're not paying us enough money. Mm-hmm. You're not paying us the minimum. And then you found yourself without a job.
Yeah.
Looking back, you're glad that you did that though?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
But he was quite a dodgy boss. It made me want to start, and I wish someone else would do this because I'll never do it. Yeah. If you like this idea, just do it. You don't even need to give me money.
Yeah.
I wanted to start like a database for employees.
Yeah.
Almost like this boss is dodgy.
Oh, like because there's like Glassdoor, isn't there? There's things. There's like websites where you can review employers, but you mean
Oh, that already
database
exists.
for.
Never
Maybe
mind.
I'm not sure if maybe it
Should have
does.
done it when I had the idea.
I know there was one for school teachers when we were in primary school, and it popped off because this is before like Instagram and TikTok. I think it was just ratemyteacher.com, and it was unaudited. It was the Wild West, and there was the most feral stuff on there, stuff that wasn't even true.
Yeah, that's when it gets messed up. Well, that's like do you know about the thing from City to City, which is like I can't remember what it's called, but it's like, is he single? What is that again?
Oh,
Do you ever
are
heard
we
about
dating
that?
the same guy?
Yeah, are we dating the same guy? And every city has like, or used to at least have a version where someone would be like, I'm speaking to this guy on Tinder, share their profile. I'm like, is he a good egg?
Yeah.
And I thought it was such a good system because women would be like, that's my best friend's fiance. Other women would be like, started very nice, became very problematic. Sometimes they'd share someone and women would be like, they're a sweetheart. Oh, go for it. We just didn't work out because they live too far away. Like, so it was actually like, if you were a good guy, you had nothing to worry about. But it was really interesting. So yeah, that for bosses. Because I was like, that boss will always get people, because everyone who worked in that restaurant wasn't from Amsterdam. And he
Have you thought about doing like a show about that? Have you thought about just doing a proper like slander Edinburgh Fringe about like based on
Yeah,
that?
because I mentioned it in the previous, because in the show I did this year, Lane, then I had it online, is I had a bit where I talked about Amsterdam and I had to get through, because it was a really tricky year. I didn't have a very good time, but then it got me on this road, so I wouldn't change the past. But yeah, I was like, oh, how do you get across? And a bit of the show that's meant to be funny, that wasn't the sad bit of the show. This bit of the show had to be upbeat. So I wanted the show to be upbeat when I was kicked out of my flat overnight, robbed, and lost my job. So I just wrote ridiculous jokes to fill in the space. So I just said, the restaurant I worked in burnt down, which is the Dutch way of saying I got fired. Because if you make yourself seem like too much like a right on. Fighting the power. Then like, this is nice. Like, no, I just need you to laugh at this point in the show. I don't need you to think anything other but funny.
You wanted a laugh break and not an applause break for that bit. You didn't want to radicalize them.
For that bit of the show. You just need to go boom, boom, boom through all that. So I didn't really dwell on that restaurant. But that restaurant was really funny and really messed up, and I could have written more about it. I just didn't have time. Like the way I got the job there was he got me super drunk, and then my boyfriend at the time had to come and get me out of the job interview.
I imagine that happens a lot in hospitality. There's a lot of dodgy characters in there. Like people will own nightclubs because they like going to nightclubs. Like that's the kind of characters that are attracted to that stuff a lot of the time.
That's
I mean,
wild.
to a lesser extent back in New Zealand, like I'd work trial shifts for like 8 or 9 hours, and afterwards you'd be like, well, I'm not taking the job, but here's my bank account details. They're like, oh, we're not paying you. We just wanted to see if you were good. It's like after
That's
9 hours, you can kind of figure that out.
A 9-hour trial shift is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hospitality takes the piss. And I've worked office jobs for like local authorities. I've done fruit picking. I've done work in shops. I've manufactured stuff. I work on the craft at home. Honestly, hospitality is the most exhausting job.
I wonder if there's a degree of, with hospitality, if there's a degree of like desirability, like being a barber. When I was a barber 10 years ago, being a barber is really cool. Being a tattoo artist is cool. Being a barista is seen as cool. Being a comedian is a cool thing to do. And because of that, they're not held to the same standards and regulations a lot of the time, right? It's like you're lucky to be doing this. What you're doing is cool.
Oh, yeah.
Rules are for other people and regulations and safety nets. But for you, it's kind of like, you should just be grateful you're doing this.
There's no ombudsman in comedy. That's why the show I did this year felt a bit weird, because the show I did this year was talking about how much I found like the Fringe messed me up. But I say messed me up. I know a lot of people get messed up by the Fringe.
How did it mess you up?
In 2023, I did a show called Marj, which was about an abusive relationship I was in.
Yes. I've seen part of that. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I've felt the shift in that show.
Watch the good bits.
Yeah.
The end.
It feels like if you're going to watch
Why
some
is she
of
choking?
it.
Yeah. But I did that show every day on stage, and people had warned me. I attribute this in the show. People had warned me, if you go somewhere traumatic every day, your brain doesn't know the difference between being in a traumatic situation or remembering it to the point of feeling it.
That is incredible advice, isn't it?
Yeah. So
very good advice.
I was like, I can do it. And I went to therapy for the show. I also went to therapy I went to therapy for the reason, and then that therapy helped me write the show. And I actually worked with the therapist to write the latter part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, if anyone in the audience related to my situation or had their own stories of any kind of similarity, it was helpful. There were certain statements written in that show that were positive, and there was signposting to help. And it's really funny because that's when I think I also started losing it, because the people who were dismissive of the show were like, oh, it got a bit too slow and the tone shifted. And I was like, no, it wasn't for you. The tone shifted and it got slower because I felt like it's my responsibility for anyone upset by the show to carry them to a positive place.
But that's a very you thing to do as well, because you are a storyteller, right? Most stand-ups wouldn't have the thread and the through line of storytelling. That backbone that you're describing feels like a storytelling skill set that most comics, myself included, wouldn't have, right? Do you find that when you do a show, you can't just go up there and just do gags? It's gags threaded together with the backbone of storytelling, beginning, middle, end.
Over the past, I did things before I knew what I was doing, where I do some shows where there was like one show in particular that was just kind of gags, and I just get incredibly bored on stage. And I thought what I do is, because I've done this trilogy where I've gone through 3 different moments of my life, 3 stories and 3 folk tales, that I take a break and do a show called Holiday, where I'm having a holiday and I just do a show of club material. And I did.
Is that next year, or you've done that?
Next year,
That's next year. That's the hour of just gags I've heard about, right? Not to invalidate it and say just gags. There would be more than just gags, but that's your club hour. Yeah,
because different people, I mean, like you get all different shows, and I think that's the beauty of the Fringe, is that you have such a range of shows from a range of comedians of different styles, and that's why it's so special and important. There's shows I couldn't do because I'm not that good. I need to write a joke. I don't write enough jokes. No, but I like, comedy is different from person to person, like music and styles and genres. But for me, I think, because, like, say, a storyteller, I want to tell a story that I can emotionally go on. Wow, you're making me realize why I like it. I suppose I like emotionally traveling through the story myself. And when I do storytelling, I find it really easy to memorize a story, because as I tell the audience a story, I feel it and see it, like I'm standing in that world and walking through that world.
Does it help you remember it again, like a new memory in a sense? Or does it just make it a fresher
memory?
It's
so weird, because it's like, when I tell a story, the only thing I'll struggle with are names or dates. But once I've got those down, it's not even, I don't have to remember the story. I just need to take the next step. And then I'm in the next setting of the story. I don't have to remember what's coming next, because then if I'm describing the character sitting down and somebody walking up to them, then it's just happening in my brain. It's really relaxing for me. When I tell a story, it's just like watching a film. So I think I enjoy that on stage, because I get to live in something. But when it's something negative or sad, I live in it a bit too much. And when I stop doing the show, I don't have that output anymore, and I don't have the audience's validation anymore. And when it's really quiet, you're just like left with your own thoughts, and that's when it gets too much.
Really interesting thing that you touch on, right? It feels like a blessing and a curse, the intensity of which you can feel and get into a story as a comedian, as a storyteller, it's a superpower. It's incredibly advantageous. But when it's real sad and traumatic and bad, you're like, you don't have the crowd there. You touch on such an interesting thing earlier, which I've only familiar with the idea the last year or two from chatting to a shrink myself, which is that if you imagine feelings, you imagine a scenario, you think of a past thing that happened, your brain doesn't know the difference. And that's, if there's partners in relationships where they're paranoid that they are being cheated on, let's just say, if you go through the motions of that every day, what's happening to your brain, as I understand it, it's like that's the same chemically as if you were just in a relationship where the person's doing that. You're getting the chemicals anyway,
Yeah.
It's like the inverse of if I imagine my solo show I'm going to do next year, I get real excited. I feel the dopamine. I haven't even written it. I haven't gone on stage, but I'm like, it's going to be so big and cool and exciting. And I like get to microdose, pre-dose those feelings before it's even happened.
Yeah.
But what you're describing is the opposite. It's like this thing is no longer happening, but I'm still feeling the feelings, right? How do you manage that when you do that, you tell those stories, you tap into all of that stuff to the point that it might as well be happening again live to you on stage? the crowd goes home. It's just you and those feelings. How do you taper off from that? How do you go from a 20-plus day run of doing that and feeling those feelings, and that's your identity for the month and that's all that's on your mind, to just going back to doing what you're doing outside of the Fringe?
Well, after Marj, I don't think I coped with it too well.
Mm-hmm.
I think I tried to fill that hole, like romantically, or like I would like start doing Muay Thai,
Yeah.
and getting punched in the face.
Oh no, I thought you were going to start doing drugs. That's worse.
I stopped drinking alcohol, and that was good. But what I had me wondering about was like 6 to 8 weeks after you give up alcohol. I'm sorry if this is incorrect, but this is what was described to me and this is what I felt.
Yeah.
Like 6 to 8 weeks after giving up alcohol, like it's all gone out your system.
Yeah.
And then it's like you almost feel the highs and lows more.
Yeah, of just life.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then I was really unhappy. And then I do
Because you're like, oh, fuck, I'm in the UK.
It's
It's
not
dark at
Shetland.
3 o'clock. This is why people drink.
If it's Shetland, it'd be okay. But I was like, yeah, I am. Yeah. And I was scared when I started writing because Marj is about the bad relationship. O is about a problem I have with my health, my mental health, which is like never been cured. That almost killed me when I was a teenager. So I was like, how am I going to talk about that every day on stage and not just go through this horrendous cycle again? But what?
Excuse the pun, horrendous cycle.
Oh yeah, I never even put that in the show.
Adenomyosis, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
I learned
You know
that's
everything about me.
It's for people listening, because I think male, female listeners, we should all know at least a little bit about vaginas. It's different to endometriosis.
Yeah.
Endometriosis, and I'm not going to mansplain this to you, but please tell me, my understanding is endometriosis, stuff grows where it's not meant to on the outside, and what you're describing is the innie one. Is that right?
Yes, I think, and I might be wrong now actually, is that endo you can also get growth inside as well. But you're right. But you're like, it can be like the tissue can just build up somewhere else in your body, so you get like pain completely far away from your uterus and horrendous bleeding and blockages. And it's horrible. Yeah, and the way a doctor described it, to me, which was one doctor of all the different health professionals I saw, for years, was that just like with adenomyosis, and it can happen at any time to anyone who has periods. So it doesn't even need to be and it might happen to you once, might happen to you every time you have a period, but it's when the lining stitching gets the wall of the uterus, it overzealously stitches through the wall of the uterus and into the muscle.
Okay.
So to shed your lining, instead of the small contractions you'd feel, I say small for some people that are horrendously painful, instead of just like the wall of your uterus pushing off the lining, your muscles have to physically tear open to shed the lining, and then your muscles are tearing, so you have muscular pain, and when the muscles tear too much, they start bleeding, so you're just internally hemorrhaging.
Hectic.
Yeah.
I mean, straight dudes have written Fringe shows about far less. You know? It is like, I was like, oh, I miss my ex sometimes, and you're like, yeah, my it's so bad that like my muscles have become empaths and they are bleeding also.
Oh my god! It's like whenever so many guys do the story about getting their prostate examined, and I'm like, there should be more comedians. Like, I went to get a smear test before I'd ever had sex, so I was like, why are you inside of there? Yeah. Like, retrospectively, I don't think I was meant to get a smear test before I'd had sex, but I just didn't want the doctors to think I was like a virgin. I was like, no, I do all the time.
You say that in the show because that's hilarious.
No, I've never said that.
Doctors to think you're a virgin. That's so funny. That's brilliant because clinically they're just so unbiased and removed from that. But you're like, you want the doctors to think that's so funny.
But then for smear tests, they put this thing in you and just like open it and you're like, ah! It's horrible.
I have to say it because it's on my mind. And if you see me disassociate, you need context for it. I saw a cooking video on Instagram where this dude was, I think, pretending he didn't know what the device they use for the smear test is, and he was using it to make hot dogs. He's like, if you put this if you put this inside the bun, you can make space for the hot dog. He's like, what are these things even for? I just found this in my house. So I saw that this morning. So you have to hear about that. I went down a rabbit hole with you. You were talking about the show O from 2024.
Oh, right. Yeah, and I think the reason I coped better of doing that show every day was because for me, and this might sound ridiculous, but for me, what happened when I was 16, when I almost died, because my period was so bad, I was going to sleep and I was near my exam time, and my mom kind of rushed me into hospital that night because she's like, something's not right. And if she hadn't, I wouldn't have lasted the night. But
Jesus.
as because I was 16, I felt invincible.
Yeah.
Even not long after that happened, I wasn't like, oh my gosh. Like, it never really bothered me because as a teenager, you feel invincible.
Mm.
As a young person, you feel invincible. And all I could care about was my exams at school.
Mm.
So, like, even after I got out of hostel, I was like, I need to revise for art. I need to
Yeah.
revise for, like, geography, all the subjects I was doing. So I didn't even have time to be like, woe is me, I almost died. And even then, I don't think I would have cared because as a teenager, I'd always get drunk and passing out and like falling off things. And like every weekend, just like some kind of misanther or accident. We're like, ooh. So I was just like, eh. And then, it's an exaggeration, but I do think there's times as a teenager where you're just like, you're reckless because you don't know your limits and you're just like throwing your body into things. And on stage, I realised that I could be quite blasé about that, and that might be really upsetting for people who have lost someone at that age.
Mm.
And so I tried to tell it from the perspective of my mum and dad, so I would have some kind of sympathy around it. No sympathy for myself, sympathy for my parents if they'd, for that situation, had it gone wrong. But I think in the year of writing I lived with my best friend and we called it the year of healing and the year of Girl House. And we're like, we are going to work
Girl
on our
House
lives.
sounds like a genre of music.
Oh, yeah, imagine.
Like Girl House.
It'd be amazing. It'd be like K-pop meets house.
Just be like drinking Guinness out of a Stanley glass. Girl House. Yes.
Yeah, maybe we should make that a genre.
Yeah.
But so we were like, we're gonna. So that was the time when I gave alcohol for a bit and then reintroduced it slowly. And we were like, we're gonna not message people who are emotionally unavailable. So we had like a chalkboard in our kitchen, in our living room, and every day we got through a day without messaging somebody who's emotionally unavailable. We got a tally on the chalkboard, and every time we failed, I had to go back to 0.
Yeah.
And it was like a fun end ceremony to every day.
Brilliant.
It was really nice.
What was the longest streak that you had without messaging someone emotionally
I get to
unavailable?
21. I was terrible because it was even just like you send them a gift. So we ended up making a chat, which was like, the chat was like, I can't remember what it's called now because you kept changing the name, but originally it was just raccoons in a bin. And whenever
That was the name of the chat.
Yeah, and it was just like whenever we saw something, which should have been an excuse to message someone who wasn't into us, or we would send it into that chat, and it just showed how embarrassingly desperate we were to message someone who wasn't into us.
Yeah.
Like, I saw this gift that reminded me of them, and they're like, so glad you didn't send that.
And this is like to boys. This is like to dudes or just people in general.
Oh yeah, to any romantic interest.
Yeah,
We're
so
like,
romantic
we need to
interests that aren't.
we need to work on ourselves, because I think that whole thing, like, you need to love yourself, is good. I said that really sarcastically.
Yeah.
You need to be able to love yourself.
You just said it in italics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you love yourself, you can still be incredibly lonely. I think it's about learning to be content. Because happiness is an emotion that comes and goes, and that's fine. Contentment is like a state that you can have in your life to be still and at peace, is my theory. So I just need to learn how to be content. So the year of trying to work on learning to be content, and after the Fringe in where I did what I thought was a better show, I thought it was a stronger... I thought the way it was written was stronger. It had kind of better chapter headlines. It had like a clear beginning and clear end that showed that I knew what I was doing the whole way through. The stunt at the beginning was very much like annoyingly long and upsetting, and then boring and uncomfortable to try and get across the point why you can't talk about periods.
And people who haven't seen it, what was the stunt? Sorry to jump in there.
Oh, sorry. It was a statue of myself on stage where the audience thought it was me, and then the head falls off and 3 pints of blood spray at the neck.
And you said people passed out during the show.
They passed out more when I was describing the condition and talking about different forms of like injection and stuff.
Yeah.
And hysterectomies.
That's so hectic. And something that I want you to realize, about 30 seconds ago, I had an aha moment about you and your shows, and I feel really silly for not knowing this.
Oh, did you just get the names?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you said and I'm thinking Marj, and I'm thinking Lean, and I'm thinking these 3 shows are your fucking name.
Yeah.
I've only just clicked.
Yeah.
I literally just in that moment talking to you, I was like, that is insane, because they hold their own as names. They're just inherently cool names for a show. And I'm like, what is O? What is O? And like I was half the brain was locked into what you were saying, and the other half was like, That's so
Just
hectic.
doing like that woman in the GIF when
Marjolein.
she's looking through all the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The maths was like hectic, incredible.
Yeah, I did it because it's meant to be like mind. It's meant to be mind, body, and soul. Marjolein. So Marj is the mind about being gaslit till I kind of lose who I am a bit, and that's what the folktale resembled about the woman who loses her silky skin.
Yeah.
O is about my periods and the problems with health and my trying to get help with my body. And the story was our old Norse goddess, not Norse, even older than Norse, the old goddess of Shetland going through the seasons, so it's cyclical. And then Lane was about the story of the spirit. And it kind of just touched on where did I think I was going to go in life. And it took one of my favourite stories is a Scottish folktale from Nihilist Sky about a girl who goes on a journey in her life and doesn't know where she's going to end up and something unexpected happens to her, which is me in Amsterdam. Ended up doing comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But then being just as lost as before because doing Marj made me so upset and just like still feeling like, what am I doing? And just like having to trust yourself, trust the process and find contentment in that lost because we can't find the answers and that's the part of life we just have to move through.
Do you think you touch on something really interesting there? Do you believe that it's just as important or maybe more important to find what it is that you want to be doing, where you are, right place, right time, as it is to just trust in the process? So it's not necessarily about being in the correct place, but just knowing that if you're not there, you'll end up there. Because there's a lot of time traveling between gigs. There's a lot of time, like you said this week, Monday to Friday, you don't have shows on and you're like, what am I doing? Am I a failure? I have 5 days without shows.
Yeah.
Do you think it's just as important with any creative pursuit to be able to, or at least try to be comfortable in those in-between moments?
100%. And I don't do it and I should be. Because I think that's... Do you ever get when you start doing comedy? I remember when I started doing comedy, I started doing things like it can take a minimum of 2 years to find your voice on stage. It'll take this many years to write an hour show. And I was like, no, I have to do it faster. I just have to get it. I have to do it now. And the next gig I have to find my voice. And all this advice was really correct. And I mean, I was doing the Fringe since 16. It was only in 23 that I wrote a show where I was like, well, actually, in 22, I really loved my show. Yeah. In 22, I stood by my show. Yeah. Before 22, I didn't know what I was doing. In 2022, I did a show that I really was proud of. And it was the first time I was like, hey, I had a structure and jokes.
Would you say there's like quite a sense of urgency with what you're doing? Because I know with you, like you would do like a Club 5. And instead of refining that Club 5, you'd go to another club and you'd be like, I have to do a different 5.
Yes.
Would you say with what you're doing with your ambition, there is a lot of urgency where, yes, I know it takes this long for people to do it, but I need to do it in half that time?
Yeah, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because...
Is it impulsivity, do you think? Is it like a short-term...
So. I think I think I get bored of... It's weird because I'll get bored of jokes, but I'll hold on to some jokes for years. Like there's one routine I've been doing for ages because I love it so much. Then I get scared if I write any... I get the fear that I won't be able to write anything new that's funny. Sorry, I think I could repeat.
That's fine.
I get the fear every time when I sit down to write a new joke. I don't know if you get this. When I sit down, like, I need to write a new show. And then when you start to write new material, you're unfairly comparing it to your old, honed, club-ready material.
Stuff you've tried 100 times.
Yeah. So you write a new thing like, well, it's not good enough. And also, I always had this feeling, I think, where in my head I had this idea where I do so many years doing here, then get back to Shetland. But I'm actually quite happy doing here right now. I think.
Well, I think it's interesting because if you focus on, there's one definitive plan, and tell me if you agree, if you're like, there's one definitive plan, this is how it has to go. If you have an equally good, productive, fulfilling journey, and it's slightly just back in that plan.
I know, I hate the plan.
It's not even real. But if you have a plan for how things are going to go, and then they go slightly different, we get too focused on like, oh, but I was going to be back in Shetland in X amount of years. By this date, I was going to do this. Like for me, it's like I've been in the UK for a year. I was going to have an agent by now. I was going to have XYZ by now. You lose sight of all the cool stuff you have done.
Yeah.
And you can't, we don't stop and smell the roses because it's like, oh, but this was the plan. It's like, yeah, but it's not now. Things have been different. Do you find that there's less appreciation of what you have done because you're comparing it to what you originally wanted a couple of years back?
I think I would have in the past. And I'm really thankful for the Hannah Montana, the movie.
Yes.
Because the climb
I quote it daily.
Oh, do you? So
no.
do I. Oh.
I'm so sorry.
I
thought that would have sounded sarcastic.
I put it in the speech when I was the bridesmaid for my sister.
Yeah.
I slid Hannah Montana, the movie's quotes into her speech and she was crying and then I made her watch the movie.
That's so funny. That feels like...
Can't help myself.
There's not a law about that, but it feels like ethically ambiguous. I love that. That's brilliant.
It was beautiful. It was like all the other girls, they were like northern stars leading me to you. So God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. Beautiful.
That is pretty beautiful.
And it's actually that was Rascal Flatts. But Hannah Montana, the movie, has the song The Climb. And it was so close to being the final song of my show. If I hadn't started seeing Jack and then he'd written a song, which was like, he wrote a song about me and us the same time I was writing the exact same thoughts in my joke book. So when he sent me this song and when he'd written it, I was because my joke book isn't just jokes, it's also just like all my feelings and thoughts to get them on the page. And this two were exactly the same message.
That's very romantic. That's like old school cinematic romance, isn't it?
It was really sweet, yeah. And it was all like the after effects of previous relationships and things. And the song's called What If, and the chorus about let go. And in my notebook, I was like, I just need to let go and trust. And if it wasn't for that beautiful moment, my show may have ended with Hannah Montana and The Climb. Because The Climb is all about, it's not about the end destination, it's about the journey. If you're a comedian, but you don't enjoy the daily writing jokes, thinking of ideas, going to comedy clubs, trying material out, going to comedy clubs at the weekend to make money and make people laugh. If you're thinking, I'll be happy now if the Apollo, or I'll be happy when the series gets commissioned. When you hit those points, if you hit those points, you might not necessarily be happy because it might be like that empty, vacuous, like, oh, I thought this would fulfill everything. Which is why I think contentment's so important, because if you're content where you're at, and like you say, we're like you touched on it earlier, when people are like, why would you be unhappy in comedy? Like, we are really fortunate to do this as a job. That doesn't mean we can still have moments where we're unhappy or tired or want to leave the house after a comfortable tea because we'd go do a gig somewhere. But I think, and I also think if you're enjoying the journey and taking it step by step, things will come out you didn't expect. So in 2022, I did a number of competitions and never won anything. I'm a very good runner-up, just a finalist. But after those competitions, everyone was like, "An agent will come after you." Now.
Yeah,
didn't happen. No agent came after me for like another 14, 15 months before I heard from someone.
Yeah, until relatively late in your career.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, I'm just not someone an agent wants to touch.
Yeah.
I'm just one of those people. I just have to look after myself, book my own gigs. And it was so that was like September 22. It was only in December 23 I even spoke to someone about having representation.
So this is like 7 years into your career, you're starting to have that agent conversation.
Yeah. To be fair, the first 4 years of my career, I wasn't doing weekends or spots or fives. I was just in Shetland and doing the Fringe and going back to Shetland again.
Yeah.
I only moved in 2019 to try doing fives new material nights. So I did it for just about a year before I head home for lockdown. And it was only in April 22. I stayed in Shetland for longer after lockdown to save up money again. And just to wait till the comedy scene was strong.
And you're performing online during lockdown, you're still doing some
Yeah, and I got really into storytelling.
Is that when the Instagram blew up? Is that when that kind of took off the online
No,
presence?
I weirdly deleted my Instagram during the storytelling. I just got creeped out because everything was online. People search for you online. Because I was storytelling online, my online persona was what everyone's looking at, and my Instagram used to be really personal. So I just deleted everything.
Yeah.
I deleted everything I had online, apart from Twitter, I think. And then it meant that I only set my Instagram up again in the summer of 2022.
Right.
I was poof.
Yeah.
Because I was upset by it. I just thought it was too personal. Then I was like, oh wait, it just occurred to me I could have an Instagram which is just comedy stuff. So I would say I've only been full-time gigging for money since April, May 2022. I did a split in 2019, but 2019 was really me doing my fives and trial spots.
Yeah.
And I think my first paid gig was August 2022 at a weekend. Or was it July 2022 at a weekend?
So it's over a half decade into doing comedy, right? You're 6 years in and you're getting your first paid spot.
Yeah, but I hadn't done like fives or anything because I'd been in Shetland.
Yeah, but having, yeah.
It's just a weird backwards way to do it, but I wouldn't change it. I wonder if I'm lucky, I think, but I am. Yeah.
There's a question that I have
I'm sorry.
No, you've touched on a lot of stuff I was going to ask anyway. Like, for so many comedians give the advice that you can't just be gigging all the time because then you're just writing about gigging. You need to go out and live life. How do you strike that balance, I'll ask broadly, between having a creative pursuit, whether that's painting or theatre or improv or comedy or music? How do you strike the balance between doing that and switching off and just living life? It sounds like you had a good balance between doing the Fringe, going home, doing the Fringe, going home. It's almost like almost like an all or nothing through line with you, where you have the Instagram and then you delete the Instagram and then you get the Instagram back and you've got 50,000 followers and a blue tick now. Are you naturally good at being on, off, smelling the roses, enjoying life, having those experiences, or is that something that you have to like gentle parent yourself to do? Wow,
it's like therapy.
Ha. Have you seen that meme? It's like, oh no, the worst person you know has learnt therapy words. That's what that reminds me of.
Are you gentle parenting yourself? No.
That almost does it. That's almost like condescending phrasing, but you know what I mean.
Like we talked about earlier on for the podcast, how we're like a frog in a boiling pot where we don't notice the weather changing. And it's the same thing where it's like, sometimes I'll be really sad and I'll have no idea why I'm sad because I've just been like compressing it for a while and then it just bursts up and I'm like, I'm sad. It could be something really inane.
Yeah, the feelings happen to you.
Yeah, or it can be something really big, but I just don't want to trouble anything with the thing.
Yeah.
But like, so when I was left to my own devices before I had an agent, I used to gig every night of the week, multiple times if I could. And I did a 40-day stretch where I filmed, edited and uploaded a video every day for 40 days in a row. And I remember there's one March where I used to remember in one March, including like 6 or 7 travel days, which were like over 6 hours travel, I still gigged like, was it 35 times? And 8 of those were hour-long shows. And I did 3 podcasts and a radio show. And
I bet there were evenings where you're like, am I doing enough?
Yeah, and I still had 1 or 2 days off where I'd travel and then not have a gig that night.
Yeah.
And I would just go to a comedy club to watch.
Yeah, because you're like, I can't be seen being a failure.
Then I got signed, I think it was the following month.
Wow.
And I had a gap coming up of 10 days. And I was like, we got to fill the 10 days. Yeah. And my agent was like, no, I think you should have a break. So I started going to comedy clubs every night and just seeing if I could jump on or just watch a gig until my flatmate, it's a year of Girl House, made me go for a walk one night and she kept me walking right up until the gigs would have started. So I couldn't go.
That's a good friend, isn't it?
Yeah, we went walking up this big hill and then we were up the hill when the gigs would be starting and I just felt like I should meet in the club.
Yeah.
And when I moved to London, a week after being here, I met the man who's now my partner.
Yeah.
So I moved to London. I was like, I'm going to gig every night. And a bunch of comics who I first met when I came to London, like Kima Bob, was like, you got to like learn to have time off. Sometimes it's better to say no to gigs or have days off than to do every single gig. And I was like, what? And then I sat to my partner and I remember apologizing to my agent because I was like, I'm sorry, I moved to London and now I spend time with my partners when I'm not gigging. And my agent was like, that's a good thing.
I remember you telling me this a year back.
Oh, sorry. When we're in Newcastle.
In Newcastle a year back, I remember that stuck out where you were like apologizing to your agent that you got a partner and they're like, no, this is good. This adds like depth to you as a person. Like, I'm so sorry for getting a boyfriend. No, it's okay. You're allowed a boyfriend.
Sorry for going on a life journey. That'll give me so much material.
Yes. Sorry for having like a companion and like company in the evenings. They're like, we'll let it slide this time.
It's funny. Yeah. And I met with my agent again, well, we meet regularly. She's lovely. But there's a conversation we had where I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not doing more. And she was like, oh, I was going to start this meeting by saying you're still doing too much. I don't know if there's some kind of drive in me that productivity equals value, where it doesn't. Just being yourself equals value. But it's really hard to tell yourself that.
Well, I imagine that being yourself, I'm going to hit the therapy words again.
Go for it. I like this. This is really handy for me. I'm sorry for everyone listening.
I think all podcasts should start with just a disclaimer from a woman saying, I'm sorry for everyone listening. Dan's about to talk. I mean, my understanding with my brain, it's like, I recognize that most joy, any joy I get in life is just dopamine. I try not to think about it, that it is just a chemical thing. But if I'm doing stuff, I feel productive, whether that's like making a TikTok or baking a cake or doing stuff.
Folding a sheet.
Partial to a bit of housekeeping. If I do that, then I feel good. It's not that I feel like I'm enough. It's just like I feel like it just gives me dopamine and makes me feel good. And sitting around doesn't do that for me, right? I know, like for myself, it's a hard lesson to learn to have those days off, to have that walk up the hill with a friend and hang out. It's hard for me to switch off. I mean, there'll be times that I'm like hanging out with a pal, playing PlayStation, and I'm like, oh, dude, if you were me, what would you be doing right now? Is it bad that I'm not writing? He's like, dude, you're hanging out with a friend. This is what people do. Just chill out, eat the pizza, play the PlayStation game. This is the thing that people do. Like, allow yourself to do this. But for me, I feel like I can't. And that's why I ask a lot of comics and a lot of creatives that I'm like, that's the silver bullet for me. I've never used silver bullet in conversation, but in a corporate job, people used to say it all the time. I feel like...
Oh, sorry to interrupt you.
No, please.
I was going to say something that might be controversial.
Oh, please. Okay.
Imagine I was like, no.
Yeah.
Like,
Tell me about the vaccine.
No, I was just thinking, like, do you think, like, that's more like a working class entry into comedy where people who are more upper class don't feel the need to constantly work to try to prove themselves?
100%. 100%. I want to make a yes. That's the premise for a bit that I want to do. I want to make a reel.
This bit is Dan's bit. I love when you have a conversation with another comedian and you say something funny. Like when I said to you, I was like, Shetland is a little North Korea of the North, and I was like, that's mine.
Yeah, that's
sorry. We're talking about rocket launches.
We were. We'll get to the rocket launches soon.
What is Shetland doing to Orkney?
You're watching two caffeinated people try and have a conversation. It's like when they got AI to talk to each other, and then it like developed its own language, and people couldn't understand. It was just kind of like locked out the listener. Okay, many rabbit holes were going down.
Sorry, you were going to say about class.
What happened is you just said a joke, and then I just claimed it as mine within the same sentence. Is what happened. You're like, isn't it hectic how like people from a lot of money don't worry, but working class people do. I was like, yeah, it's funny you say that. That's actually my joke now.
No, go for it. What is?
No, I wanted to
your joke.
No, I just want to make a reel where the premise is it's like, I've lived in the UK for a year as a creative, and I've found out after chatting, to other creatives and sitting in green rooms and listening to podcasts, what it's going to take for me to make it. And then the end scene is just me walking into my parents and being like, right, you guys need to make some more fucking money.
You guys need better friends.
Yeah. You need more connections and you need to be millionaires. Yeah. I completely agree.
Why aren't you TV executives?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And I think like that's what I'm learning in London as well. I'm not speaking out of turn. I mean, any comics who have a lot of money will admit it. They'll write about it. That's probably their thing. But absolutely. And London, I was ignorant to it until a few weeks back. I meet so many people from money, and I'm like, why is everyone here from money? They're like, well, you're in central London. We're the people who can afford to live here. And that's why there's so many of us, right? And I completely agree with the idea that if you don't come from money, there's more stress. You can't just have the safety net. I mean, I know comics who, decent comics, not speaking out of turn, just creatives in general, who can just put out an album and then just fuck around for a year, or do an Edinburgh Fringe show and then just do nothing for a year because they've got backing to pay for some flyers, get a good poster made, focus on the show and just do whatever. But people from working class backgrounds like myself are constantly like, this is all I have,
Mm-hmm.
That's hectic. Do you like the part where I explained your idea back to you for 3 minutes?
No, I found it really validating because I just thought
Validating
that
or invalidating?
Validating.
Okay, cool. I misheard you.
I found it really good because I was just like, oh, maybe that's why, because I don't know if everyone feels this way. I feel like it's that idea of like it's 9 to 5. And what I've been trying to instill in my life, and I tell people I do this, and then I don't. But what I want to do is, because gigs happen predominantly at night, but also during the day we need to do admin and write and work on other projects for money.
All the non-sexy stuff.
And Patreon and stuff like that. So I'm like, well, that means the easiest way to carve out time for myself is the morning. So my morning is the 9 to 5ers evening. Yes. Where I wake up, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Spend time making a nice breakfast because I often don't have time to make a nice dinner. Nice. And then watch some telly while I eat it. And then bang, start doing writing and admin and then go gig at night.
Comedy and admin in the morning? When you say writing and admin, is that like writing comedy and admin?
I try and pick one or the other a day. So I'm either admin brain or writing brain.
Are you funny in the morning? I'm not funny in the morning.
Oh no, morning's my evening. Sorry. So like from when I wake up till about midday, well, depending how late I wake up, maybe until 1
Is this because there's no sun in Shetland, so your morning's the evening? It's just always evening?
Or it's summer and it's never dark, so you just drink for days on end without
just
realising.
Listen to Girl House and drink.
Yeah, or at winter it's dark all the time, so you just drink for days and never realise. But you know, I mean, like in the sense that how I structure my day just in London.
Yeah.
It's like if we have to gig in the evenings, evening is work time. And so I carve my morning out as my 9 to 5ers evening in the sense that morning is when I'll watch telly and sit on the couch and play Minecraft.
Oh, got you, like hospitality workers fucking around before they go and do their evening shift. Yeah.
But then because we're required to also do writing and admin and work from home.
Yeah.
About after breakfast, before lunch, and I'm like, now at the desk now.
Yeah.
Now work time. Why did I bring that up? Oh, because I'm trying to carve some time out every day that isn't work. Because if I didn't have some enjoyment in the morning, I'd wake up and immediately start writing. And if I have a gig that night, that's me working until like I get home at like midnight.
Do you, can you sit down and be funny, or does your brain have moments of being funny and you have to pin it down and milk the funny from it?
I believe if you sit down and try and be funny every day, you discipline that approach and you can get better and better at it.
Okay.
I work best if I've got pressure. So I had a work in progress for next year at the Fringe, I'm doing work in progress for a show the year after, trying to make myself take slower steps.
Is that the hour of jokes?
Yeah. But I already think I'm going to make it a story. I did one work in progress and I'm like, there has to be something hidden.
You have one rule for yourself is that it's not stories, it's just jokes, and you already feel yourself.
I think I'm going to put a story in.
You're going to trick them with a story, be like, this was actually Hannah Montana lyrics.
Imagine it's just like the plot to a single Hannah Montana episode, like when she goes to the dentist. No, I just think that
it'd be so niche. But there's enough people at the Fringe that there would be a crowd for that.
I would hope so.
Imagine all the horse girls in the crowd being like, I know where this is going. I know what she's fucking doing. This is for us.
Yeah.
They just start neighing in excitement.
I often thought how much fun it would be to do like Marjoleine's incredibly niche show where she's unapologetic for an hour and I just do references to things that I like and care about from my past and just see if anyone gets all the references, and you can like bingo card if you get them.
Yeah. Do it. What's stopping you doing that?
Time. I need more time. But
You've just described how this is the thing though, and this is the paradox of the creative mind, especially yours. You've told me how every day it's filled up with writing, with admin, with performing, and having relaxing time and making nice breakfast. And your day couldn't be fuller of pre-planned things. I'm like, why don't you just do the show? You're like, I don't have time. It's like, what? That's mad.
I've got, I don't know. But I do think if you sit down and write every day, here's the writing tip, is that your creative side of the brain and your critical side of the brain don't like working at the same time. So when I'm writing, I'll do days when I'm writing where I'm not even thinking about how to make it funny or how to spell it or how to write it or format it. I'm just like, get it down the page.
Yeah, just brain dump, get it from here to here.
And then I'll critically go through it a different day. Because as soon as you start being critical, your creative bit of the brain kind of like shies back and it's inhibited. So it's almost like approaching the same piece of writing with two different mindsets at different times. I'm trying to get through the artist's way right now, but I've been on week 1 since March. So
get through the what? Sorry.
Do you know the artist's way?
No.
It's this book. I'm pretty sure it's what Dochi used after Did Don't You originally get like fired or quit?
They weren't paying the minimum wage and they protested. Call back to your joke.
Good way into the arts. But yeah, and Don't You did the Artist Way, and I had it because I've just seen it on so many TikToks, and it's a way to be creative every day and actually work towards making a project. But I just never got through week 1.
Yeah. Was that thing you're talking about earlier where it wasn't happening fast enough for you and that's why you didn't get through the first week? Because you were saying you like things, you have an unrealistic expectation for yourself of things happening faster than they should. For you, were you frustrated that they're like week 1, week 2, and you're like, I want it all now, and now didn't happen, and you got mad?
I think you're right. Because I went to do the Couch to 5K.
Not trying to like therapize a woman.
No, again, I went to do Couch to 5K, and I had all the time to do Couch to 5K. Do you know Couch to 5K?
Yeah.
And
familiar with it.
I never
and you're like, I should be at my age doing half marathons.
I just got to week 9 and was like, I don't want to. I just stopped completing it. Like I got.
Yeah.
Is it 12 weeks or is it 8 weeks?
I'm not sure.
I got to over 3/4 of the way
Maybe 8
through.
weeks, yeah.
So maybe I got to week 6 and then I just never opened the app again.
I find your mindset, I still stand by the idea that your mindset and approach to life and comedy is a superpower. The chaos of that all or nothing. Do you agree that having the moments where you delete the Instagram, where you throw the towel in with the Couch to 5K, that just exists as tax for the flip side of that, where you can just go all in on something? Because I'm like that with stuff where I get fed up and I won't do so. Like I tried getting into swimming a few years back and I did it one evening and I was like, no, I'm not fast enough. My breath's not good. No. But then running, I went from not running to doing 100 kilometers a week and I went all in with that. So things, if I commit to them, I go full send. If they frustrate me, I'll just pretend they never happened. But I still believe that's a superpower for you because when you do things, you go all in so much more and intensely. Like I imagine, I don't know this for a fact, I imagine you don't have a normal bedtime. I imagine you're up till like a crazy hour when you're like down a rabbit hole.
And then last night I actually went to bed at 11:30 and I was like, look at me.
Early night.
Then went on Minecraft.
Minecraft, that's so silly.
Because I was like, I'm in bed too early. I better mine. And then I was up till 1:30.
I love how that feels so like, I don't know, man. There's something so girl house about going to bed and then mining. Does that make sense? That ecosystem in which you
it's
exist,
like I had
that
a
you're
candle
like
burning in a hot cup of tea and like on my cushions.
Sitting there just yearning for the mines.
Oh my God, I just love going doing them. And then I just, what I do, the easy, if you want to do Minecraft on easy, you just tame some wolves, breed them together till you have a pack of like 20 dogs, and then nothing can touch you in those mines because the dogs kill everything, but they do run into the lava. So they're a bit of an annoyance sometimes.
I understand everything you're saying. I have a question for you that I don't want to lose sight of because you touched on something very interesting. And I'll be straight up and down. I'm gutted that I don't have more time to pick your brain.
I know, because I didn't even tell you about why I came to London or any of that.
I may, and I do want to run this as a part 1 and a part 2.
Okay, good.
If you have time over the next couple months, I want to run a part 2 because I do find this so fascinating.
Don't bring her back.
Yeah, part 2's an apology video. Part 2 is just me facing the camera. Being
she was just on a lot of speed.
yeah. Turns out she was just. I just pulled a woman off the street who was just cracked out. I lost
Marjolein sounds like a real name. What's your last few shows? Marjolein.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real.
Her name's not Marjolein. She just told me that the alley that I found her down.
Turns out it is Sheffield.
It was me all along. Oh God,
sorry.
Minecraft. Yes, I know. Minecraft, what I have to share about Minecraft's not important. When I was a teenager, I used to put it in 3D mode, put on 3D glasses.
Go away as an option.
High. Yes, I used to get high, listen to house music. I listened to Dead Mouse, I listened to Ghosts and stuff, put on the 3D glasses, and I had a PlayStation controller set up with my thing and just play that. And so obviously as a teenager, I knew how to switch off and do nothing, but God forbid I have
Is he watching porn? You're upstairs just like building a little cottage.
I do. It was easier to explain when they walked in that I was watching porn than to play Minecraft.
Did you have that on like danger mode. What's it called? When the monsters can come at you. Because monsters in 3D, like seeing one of those.
High as a kite. Honestly, I miss being 17. As a 17-year-old, getting high, playing Minecraft, listening to house music. I would kill for that. Like, as a treat a few weeks back.
I've got news for you. You can make it happen.
I can.
And no one can tell you to go to bed because no one tells me, and it's really bad for my body.
This is dangerous, though, because there's some stuff I need to ask you, but I'll finish this thought. Okay. No, that's me telling me off. I'm not like, cut it out. I need that. I don't know my password. But I, like, as a treat for myself a few weeks back, I was like, when I was preparing for the Ishan episode, I bought a vape, went for a walk in Clapham and just had a vape. Because, like, I don't drink or smoke or do any drugs or anything, right? Completely straight.
Wow.
But there's been once or twice this year I've just, like, had a cheeky cigarette or just had a glass of whiskey. Like, twice this year it's happened. And I'm like, oh, this is an option, which for me I feel like is very dangerous to acknowledge that. Because, again, the black or white thing you're describing, all or nothing, I'm the same. To not drink is super easy. But if I have a drink, I'm like, I can just be a guy who has a drink once in a while, but once in a while doesn't exist for me, so I can't have that as a treat. So I would love to get stoned and play Minecraft. That would be brilliant. And I kind of feel like at 31 I've earned it, but I know that I can't because that's all that I'll do.
Yeah, and then also when you get for yourself, and then if you've got some weed in the house, you're like, why don't I just get stoned all the time right now?
Exactly. Yeah. Do you do that as well, where you're like, you know if you have the thing in the house, you'll have it, so the trick is to not have the thing in the house?
Yeah, I do that even with like crisps and sweeties.
Yeah, I'm the same. I found a bag of M&Ms that the woman who I'm subleasing from had left in the flat, like a family pack of M&Ms, and I was like, oh no. And I was like, there's 1,000 in that bag. Because I read the servings on the back, and it was like a serving is 27 M&Ms, and there's like 50 servings. I did the maths. I'm like, there's more than 1,000 in this bag. And I had the whole bag. And I never buy M&Ms for myself, but they're in the house. I'm like, got to do it. Something I wanted to ask you, you were talking about the process of getting a joke, getting a story, getting material, brain dumping it, getting it onto paper and picking it up another day. I have a premise for a bit, which unlike a gag of yours that I stole earlier, is actually my bit, but soon to be ours. I want to give you the idea, and I just want to like workshop an idea with you for 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
Off the top, if it's a dumb idea, tell me, because I'm guilty of trying stuff that as a premise isn't ever going to work.
Oh, just to preface this, I don't think there's any dumb idea. And like Gareth and I wrote a radio show.
Yeah,
about
Human Watch,
yeah. About us watching people as if they're animals. And we're like, we need to brain dump, because the only way to get to a good joke, I have to brain dump every obvious joke. Like, in Newcastle, the animals don't have coats. Like, I have to get everything out of my mouth.
That's very good. That's a very good bit.
It's true, but it's very done. It's a very done bit. Right. So, but we just didn't want to put it in our show because we also wanted our show to be surreal in the way that sometimes the bit wasn't where you expected it to go slightly, was the hope. But, so
they call that a misdirect in comedy.
We just had to like dump as much. So when I come up with a joke, the first thing I do is say every joke. Basically what I'm trying to say is when you ask me the joke, I might come out with a lot of really boring, already done jokes before my brain will get to the stuff that I'm excited about. Basically, I'm probably going to be shit for the next 2 minutes. No, basically, I'm not funny at all, and that's why I film my shows with stories. I just pad it with a story. I'm like, who has your little story? I have nothing funny to say.
I reckon if you got everything we've said in the last hour about the creative process and the self-criticism, you put that into ChatGPT and be like, what does this person need? The answer would just be like a hug. Genuinely, it'd be like a hug. What's this? Just a hug and a cup of tea. Like the whole thing you're describing of like the never enough, and my friend had to take me up a hill to make me not go to a gig. I just find it funny. I think the neuroticism of creatives. I hope we never lose that, because I hang on to the idea that it is a superpower to be. Well, not meant to say the word in 2025, but bananas.
I didn't know the word you're gonna say.
No, I know. I came up with that. Potassium.
Oh, that's good. Okay, sorry.
I came up with that riff on the tube. I'm so glad I got to say that. So the idea that I'm trying to work out and with the time I have, I do want to blow smoke and say that, like, as a comedian, as a storyteller, I think you're very good at what you do, and I'm really excited to share this with you. I have a premise, which is that we should be easier on baby boomers and them not picking up technology, right? They get a lot of grief. You and I grew up with technology. they didn't. So as we grew older and as we evolved, so did technology. And in that time span, as we get a bit more older, a bit more advanced, technology does as well. Baby boomers, there's just been a line doing this for history, and then it's just kind of done that in the last 15 years, and they're like, oh my God. And as a comparison exercise, I think it's a good premise, but I don't know if I have the comparison yet. The comparison I have is a family tortoise. So you like when we're little, you've just got this little pet tortoise, and now it's just enormous and cumbersome. But because you grew up and you played with the tortoise and interacted with it every day, you can pick it up because every day you've picked it up and you grew stronger and the tortoise got bigger. But I also woke up this morning and I was like, the family tortoise, what kind of fucking analogy is that? So I'm trying to flesh out this idea of a comparison and of a bit. And again,
either you have to double down and be like, relatable.
The family tortoise.
I know, because when you first said that, I just thought of a family of tortoises.
A family of tortoises?
Yeah, I was like, oh, you mean you own a tortoise as a family?
I wonder what the collective of a family of tortoises is.
Tortellini.
A tortellini of tortoises. I wonder if there's like a fun collective, like an amusement of tortoises.
Yeah, it is a really good bit because there is a whole idea right now, right now that millennials are like the sandwich generation in the fact that they're helping boomers Gen X with technology, but they're also watching the younger generations have technology at such a young age. It's almost like their brains haven't solidified to be like this much on the portal.
Those brains won't ever solidify.
No.
Gen Z. No, it's just mush forever.
And it's funny because my dad is so old, he's not even a boomer. He's a silent generation that came before boomers.
How old's your dad?
86.
How old are you?
Oh no, that can't be right. He must be 87. I don't know.
You know how old you are?
I think I'm
right.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so about 50
I get
years
scared to
between you
say
and
that
your dad.
on telly in case I don't get cast in things, because casting directors get all pissy when you're too old.
I'm going to censor that. I think that'd be funny to just give context to the beep you heard 25 seconds ago that you are whatever age you are.
Somebody told me never tell your age because casting directors are like, that's brutal.
Right.
If you're too old as a lady.
Yeah.
But so tortoises, because my dad is silent generation and he wasn't very good at the internet. And then he's like, Marjolein, Screwfix emails me an offer every single day. And then he opens every tab and he's got like 2,000 tabs open.
What's Screwfix?
It's like, it's just a shop that sells power tools and screws.
Yeah.
Do you hear that noise? The high-pitched ringing noise?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Are you good?
Yeah, no, I think I have good hearing, so I hear high-pitched noises.
That scared the fuck out of me, what just happened. That spooked me.
It was really lewd in my ears.
Because I'm from New Zealand, like earthquakes are a thing. So when someone's mid-conversation, they're like, what's that? You go fight or flight. You're like, we're overdue for the biggest earthquake in the last 100 years.
Are you?
Yeah. The Alpine fault's meant to unzip and a lot of people are going to die. But the new national government's pushed out the timeline to fix buildings. Too much red tape. Story for another time. Story for part 2. Do you still hear the ringing?
No, it got quieter and quieter and I don't hear it anymore.
Okay. I've heard, not to mansplain your ears to you, that when you hear like that ringing in your ears. Swan song?
Oh, sorry, what were you
Led Zeppelin?
saying? I just mean it's the last time you ever hear that pitch.
Yes.
So that's after a lewd noise, but that was something.
Tortoise bit doesn't matter anymore.
Oh yeah, tortoise.
I want to hear about the swan song. That's quite beautiful. It's quite poetic.
Isn't it?
Frequency
Because
dying.
I used to go to I just don't go because I don't have time, because I don't give myself time. But I used to go to a lot of metal gigs.
Don't have time.
I love metal gigs, and then the next morning you hear the high pitch ringing, and you're like, "There goes that note from my brain."
You're a metal enthusiast. I used to play in a metal band.
So did I. What was your metal band?
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. I was bassist in a band called Beef Cleaver.
Beef Cleaver?
I named the band. It was the only creative input I had, and I named the band Beef Cleaver.
Did you ever hear in New Zealand there's a Māori, you'll know Māori te reo, Māori
weapon, what's it called?
Weaponry?
Yeah.
You know alien weaponry?
Yeah.
There's bananas. Fuck the tortoise bit, doesn't matter. I'll figure it out. You know alien weaponry from New Zealand?
Yes.
Their debut album, forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, I think it's Uruta, I might be saying that wrong. the lead singer is wearing our singlet because he was.
Go away, that's so cool.
So he was a Winterbourne fan, and
is that your band, Winterbourne?
It was Winterbourne,
that's
and
an incredible name.
Well, it's from the Go Hera song "Born in Winter." We called ourselves Winterbourne, and at the time, not speaking out of turn, saying this, maybe I am. Our singer was like, "I don't want to play with teenagers, they're 14, 15, whatever," and they wanted to gig with us and go on tour with us. They've got the lead singer of Lamb of God on their songs now. They're opening for Slayer and playing open air festivals. But I did used to play in a metal band, and that's hectic that you were a bass player in a metal band.
Yeah.
I was going to intro the episode by sharing this story, which I still think is bananas. Is that
so bananas. We got a bunch.
Said the B word. Is that 10 years ago I was in New Zealand with my ex-girlfriend, went to the Royal Military Tattoo, and I was watching the show, and if you've seen the Edinburgh Military Tattoo, at the start, not a great deal happens, and then everything happens at once.
Yeah.
100 Highland dancers run out onto the field, and they spin around and dance. And I couldn't stop crying. I was just inconsolable. I was overcome with emotion. And I haven't figured out since why that happened. It just made me really happy. I've said this to you. I think it was because in the Titanic, there was some real happy dancing scene. Titanic represents nostalgia for me. Maybe that was it. But I just couldn't stop crying. It was so wonderful. And then we were chatting a few weeks back after a David Correos gig. And you were in the fucking crew on the field. I was crying in New Zealand on the other side of the world from here geographically at this performance, overcome with joy, and you are there. What were you, like band leader or some shit?
No, I was a fiddle player.
Fiddle player.
I was one of the Shetland fiddlers.
You weren't just like playing bass?
No.
Just like doing like the Metallica
The
squat?
only reason I picked up bass for the metal band was because I originally played fiddle and drums, and I got asked to be drummer, and I was like, my kit's really bad. I'd have to replace it, and I can't be bothered. If I'm the drummer, I'll always have to drive the band because I'll be driving my drum set, which means I don't.
I thought you meant drive, like, I'm going to be the backbone.
Oh,
I thought you meant like,
too.
oh no, I'm going to hold the band.
As a bassist, I know every bassist is going to be mad at me, but sometimes you can hide when you don't know what you're doing. So it's like, I'll be bass. And the other two guitars in the band were incredible bassists, so they used to teach me every bass line.
Yeah.
And people were like, I got compliments because I'd play bass and like helicopter my hair at the same time. Like, that's impressive. And I was like,
that is pretty cool.
Literally playing an open E. Just an open string. So I could helicopter my hair. So I looked impressed. I was all style, no substance.
Do you think this is cool?
Is that... I never...
So I can't do this properly. I'm so fucking glad I had the chance to do that. I can't... You're doing it properly because you're doing the drums? ABC. You're doing the between fingers. This episode's so much cheaper than a diagnosis for anything. I do the cheap way of spinning the sticks.
Wait, why do you have sticks on you right now? Are you going to go play somewhere?
No, but I played last night. I played it. We have to have a part 2. This is too fascinating to not. This is just like... It's like a can of worms that you open and then you realise that the can, it just doesn't
end. Just a giant turtle.
It's just a giant... you zoom out on the can and it's actually just the shell of a tortoise being peeled back.
Please kill me.
Just crawling, just a Shetland turtle.
Trying to get away, but it's too slow. You can take a break and go back and peel off the shell some more. That's horrible.
That is a horrible thought, but a delicacy in some countries. So I bought these last night because there was a blues bar in Soho where I played. I played the drums last night.
Which one was it? Ronnie Scott's? No, that's jazz bar.
Not Ronnie Scott's. Not Nothing But the Blues. There's 4 of them. It's called the Blue Posts, which is confusing because I would think it would be called the Blues Post. Irrelevant. I played there last night and I had to buy these sticks. So I'm not actually spinning them. I'm just doing I think what I'm doing is I'm doing that with my hand and then one finger's doing that. And I do that and it looks kind of cool.
I never properly learned.
But you did the hair spin with the bass. Military tattoo. Edinburgh Royal Military Tattoo. No, don't apologise. I got real excited when you mentioned spinning your hair. You were in the a fiddle player in the Edinburgh Military Tattoo.
That's how I ended up doing the Fringe in the first place, because I was in Amsterdam, I was really unhappy, but I was doing improv and I did the stand-up course, and then I was on the phone to my dad. My dad's like, Marjolein, I think you should come and do this. Yeah. And he wasn't telling me to move home, but he's like, I think if you come home this summer, because I was like, because also in summer, the improv course finishes, the stand-up course had finished, the improv school shuts down for a few months, so I was going to be somewhere where my only solace was really performing, and that's about to disappear for a few months. So my dad's like, why don't you come home, because there's been a call on Radio Shetland They need to amass as many fiddlers as they can because they're adding a fiddle section to the Royal Edinburgh military tattoo. Now, me and my dad every September sit and watch it together. We love it. So I applied and I played the tattoo in 14, 15 and 16 in Edinburgh. And I used to play the tattoo and then I'd use my days and late evenings to go and watch stand-up. Because you basically got free accommodation. So I like
when most people would like relax and just like chill out, they just played a performance. But you would just go out and watch comedy.
I would sleep some days.
Fuck. Yeah, the days when when the Wi-Fi wasn't working and you couldn't play Minecraft, you're like, oh, I guess I have to sleep. Cringe.
I feel like the way I learned to chill out is if I'm really, really overwhelmed, I put on Planet Caravan by Black Sabbath. Put it on a loop and then I just like chill out for a bit and nothing relaxes me more than that.
Planet Caravan is your song. That feels like, I feel like in the film of your life, that's the song that they play like slow down 500% as the background. You know, like in Inception, where they do that.
More dreams they go in.
Yeah, with the dreams they slow down the music. The film of your life. You could. That would be cool for a Fringe show to have that song like slow down or work into it, because that's your thing. That's your chill out music. That's the through line of you switching off.
That would be really good for holiday.
That would be really.
Can I do that? Because see, whose idea is this now?
Well, the difference with your ideas and mine is that you have to pay me for it's convoluted.
Unless, because the other songs I listen to, so when I walk to the Fringe every day, every year I'll have a different tune I really listen to on repeat. And this year a lot of it was my partner's music. Tours. I've not even dropped the band name this entire time.
Yeah.
So I listen to Tours a lot. And especially the song that I played at the end of the show because it got me into the frame of mind for the show.
Yeah.
In the previous couple of years, I just listened to Protest the Hero on repeat. Because it's really like it's like mathcore as well. So like because the rhythm's changing, like it just keeps your energy up.
I'm so glad you found mathcore.
I love mathcore.
I feel like if you hadn't found mathcore, someone would have spoken to you for 37 seconds and been like, you need music with maths in it. I feel like here you go.
So yeah,
put you in a room with mathcore.
Maybe I should take a Protest the Hero song and slow it right down.
Yeah.
And then as the show comes, because originally Holidays, lots of club set material, and then there's a story in the middle that shocks everyone. Then it goes back to club set material. And the idea behind Holiday is it's a holiday track because Fringe shows have a format that we see time and time again. Not everyone does it, but like the intro bit, the theme of the show, set material, all over a certain theme, moment that shocks you, 40 minutes in, upsets you, whatever, Fringe material, and where it kind of ties together. So I was like, I'll write that. It'll be a holiday to write, and I'll finally have some club material because my Fringe shows don't really offer club material because they're so story and narrative based and weird. And I don't think I just want to put a story in it. After one preview, I was like, I can't keep it together. So it'd be really cool to have like a Protest the Hero song slowed right down.
And that's your
holiday. And then when we get to the present day, the more it's like until it's like playing fast. And it's like, that was my brain.
Yeah, so what you're describing is like the beats in the show would be the song like slowly speeding up to full volume, and so you've found a way to sneak a thread into the show in lieu of a story. It's a song. Do
I have money to pay for song rights? No. Will we develop Girl House as a genre and make our own Girl House track?
I would love if you or just even like AI Girl House.
No, we're gonna write it down.
You're gonna write Girl House.
Pardon me, I burped into the microphone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sample it, slow it down.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to become DJs and write our own music for the next year and then use those in both our shows. That's not adding any more to our platter.
Let's just commit to an impulsive idea and then get really mad when it doesn't happen straight away. I do want to say before I forget, Baby by Justin Bieber. There's a YouTube video where they've slowed the song down eightfold, 800% slowed down. It is one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. It sounds like the music that plays in a dream sequence where someone dies in a film, briefly goes to heaven before they come back to earth. It is phenomenal. I'll link that to you.
I'll check that out. And also I just thought of some thoughts about this. Should you make the example not a family turtle but a family tortoise, and then also have like a pulled back reveal of jokes, like, because that high-pitched noise is back, by the way.
Okay.
That tortoise is like, you put the what in the freezer? Because you know how people put tortoises in their freezer over winter?
No. What?
Maybe that's why his tortoise died. Like you,
What the fuck?
don't you? If you have a tortoise, you
No, we never had one. It's just an analogy for a bit I'm doing. You put a tortoise.
So sure, you get
and
the
you're
tortoise.
saying every letter in that word as well. You're putting a
tortoise
yeah.
in the freezer for a few months, and then when it comes out, like, oh, hibernation's over, and it's like, that's what they're like all the time anyway. I'm so sure you put a tortoise in the. Did you know this?
Do you put them in the freezer?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because that would be a funny joke, like they put the iPad in the freezer, but maybe that's not relatable if no one freezes their tortoises.
Because I guess my problem is I'm saying
the pullback reveal could be the old people are actually treating the technology like you would treat a tortoise, in the sense that, like, firstly it's like the tortoise where they don't know it, but B, you do a pullback and reveal extra gag where they're like they've gone and like
I love the idea of that.
Wiped it clean with a sponge cloth and put it in the freezer.
I worry that what I've written
step on it and it cracks like a shell.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Yeah, get mad with the tortoise when you lose a game and just... What did I just say? Tortoise? Tortoise. The Shelley boy, just get mad when you lose in Minecraft and throw him at the wall like he's an iPad. That did something to the room.
Did you throw the turtles in Minecraft?
We never owned one.
But there's turtles in Minecraft.
Is there?
Oh, you need to see these updates, man. Do you know you can get copper golems that sort your luggage out for you?
Copper golem?
Yeah. Like, you know,
feels like Cockney rhyming slang for something, doesn't it? Like, oh, he's a right copper golem.
Look at that, even rhyme.
There's been many things we've spoken about today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast, chatting with you. Like I say, I really want to pick up a part 2. I think this has been really interesting, very fascinating insight into your mind, into the creative process. I won't hold you up any longer. I won't hold the tech up any longer. But I want to say thank you so much for joining me. It's been hilarious and fun, and I know less about tortoises and more about Minecraft. And anything you want to plug quickly?
Oh, please watch or listen to Human Watch on BBC Sounds, because there's a series
Sounds
written by Gareth Wan, and we just want a series 2. If enough people listen to series 1.
Brilliant. Check that out. It'll be fun. And then, like, subscribe and everything else, because I want to have a part 2 and chat about some other bits and pieces that we didn't quite get to. That was great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate that. I'll switch this off.
Cheers.